guys, this post is a little late in coming, but I'm here to talk about the best books I read in July. I only read 12 books in July or 14 books in July, something like that, which is a little light for me, but it was very busy, a very busy month for us. And out of that, though, I did give 6 of those books 5 stars. So it was a very good good month of reading for me. I read a lot of very good books, but I didn't read a lot of books, which I think that's the way you want to go, if anything. So with that, the first book I read and really loved in July was 8 Billion Genies by Charles Sewell and Ryan Brown. I had this book on my wish list for a while. I got it, I think, for Mother's Day or some holiday, and I really loved it. The premise is that everybody on Earth is given a genie who will grant a wish for them, and the Earth has to survive this. It's a pretty apocalyptic event if you think about everybody at once wishing for something that they want the most. And people wish for everything from being able to fly to ruling the world to you name it. So we shelter the storm in a bar where the bartender immediately makes a wish that none of the wishes outside of the bar will affect the bar. So anyone who's in the bar is kind of a safe zone. I thought it was a very creative premise. I thought it was very well done. The illustration was well done, and I would highly recommend it. It's very thought-provoking as well, and I enjoyed it immensely. All right, the second book I read in July and really loved was another graphic novel, and that is Crumbs by Danny Sterling. This was just a very cute book. It was kind of a cozy fantasy vibes. I'm trying to remember more about it. At the time, I really loved it. There's some humor in here, and I'm blanking a little bit now about what it was about, but I really liked it. It had very good, like, cartoony, bright color style, and, you know, a very nice, heartwarming story. All right, the third book I read in July and really loved is The Stardust Grail by Yumi Kitase, and I probably said that wrong. This was a very fun sci-fi adventure, and it was kind of unique because the two main characters in it, one is human and one is not, and the one that's not human is very not human. So you're dealing with two characters that kind of grew up together and adventured together and have done a whole bunch of illegal things together, but they have very different, like, ideals as races. And again, a lot of adventure, very fast paced. I really, really enjoyed that. It made me want to go check out Kitase's other book. I think she only has 1 or 2 other books, and they did not get reviewed as well as The Stardust Grail, but I really like The Stardust Grail, and I'll definitely be keeping an eye on anything else she writes in the future. So the fourth book I read and really loved in July is Sorceress Comes to Call by T. Kingfisher. This is about a girl who grows up with a mom who's an evil sorceress, and she doesn't really know anything else until they are forced to move to a new city, into this guy's house that her mom is trying to, like, bewitch and convince to marry her. And she realizes that things aren't all right, and she ends up kind of enlisting the help of the household to expose her mother as an evil sorceress. This was just a highly humorous, entertaining read, and very heartfelt as well, and I really, really loved it. All right, the fifth book I read and really loved in July is The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. This is about a librarian who is forced to flee her hometown because of a rebellion, and she ends up on a small island where she grew up. And while she's on the island, she decides that since she fled the library saving all these magical spell books, even though magic is illegal to practice, that maybe she'll start practicing it to help out her hometown. Things get a little bit more serious for her when someone from the main city and kingdom area shows up and knows that magic isn't supposed to be being practiced. This had a bit of a romance in it. It has that very, like, small cozy town feel. The main character's traveling companion is a talking spider plant, which was kind of hilarious as well. And some of the things that go wrong with magic are very funny. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a very nice read. And then the last book I read in July and absolutely loved, probably one of my favorite books, if not my favorite book of the year, was Dungeon Crawler Carl by Matt Dinneman. This is the first book in that series. I talk about this a little bit in my Stacking the Shelves, actually probably way too long in my Stacking the Shelves that we'll post the week after this one. But this is like a post-apocalyptic dungeon crawling fantasy book. It's hilarious. The characters are well done. The world building's amazing. New things keep happening all the time. There's a lot of adventure and fighting and gore and violence and language. A little bit of sexual content as well, kind of off and on. So definitely for adults, but very hilarious and very well done. So if you haven't read Dungeon Crawler Carl and you like kind of humorous, like dungeon delving types of fantasy adventure, I would highly recommend it. The premise is like science fiction based, because an alien race did come and kind of destroy Earth and like throw everybody into these dungeons. But the content is very much like Dungeons and Dragons driven, because they're in a dungeon and they're learning spells and making a character kind of for themselves. My whole family love this. I have a 17-year-old son, and he has actually thanked me multiple times for introducing. So I got this for review, and then I ended up buying for audiobook for my family to listen to while we drove out to Gen Con. And my teenage son has actually thanked me multiple times for introducing him to the series. He thinks it's the most amazing thing. My husband loves it. I love it. Everybody loves the series in my household. So I would definitely recommend it. So those are the 6 books I read and really loved in July. My Stacking the Shelves post that is going to be posted after this video, but I recorded before this video, went pretty long. So I'll do a quick like life update here. We have had a very busy summer, and we're trying to prep our house in Duluth for an expansion on the attic. So I've talked about that before. Part of that is us demoing the attic space, so taking out all the paperboard and walls, and there's like a small bathroom up there, getting that all out of there. And it is taking some time. The little paper fiberboard stuff they use on the walls was something popular in the 70s, but it's very hard to take down. It kind of disintegrates as you take it down. So we've been trying to work on that, but in the middle of that, we had Gen Con, so we were gone for most of a week for Gen Con. We got back. It's just been kind of crazy. So like we were up in Duluth demoing the attic. We came back to our house here for a couple days. We went to Gen Con. We came back for a couple days. We went back up to Duluth to work on the attic demo. So it's been busy. In the middle of all of that, my son has been applying for colleges, so he did that over last week, and so we were trying to help with that as we could. He had a lot of questions about how to do the application process, and he's going to be getting his high school schedule for his senior year. We've been setting up for his senior pictures, and that's kind of busy, and just trying to like maintain our current house and our sanity. I also feel like there's been a huge rash in Minnesota of COVID again. So like we were supposed to meet friends last weekend for a board game day, and they both had COVID, so we didn't do that. And then like I was supposed to meet somebody for lunch yesterday, and they called me, they have COVID. And then I was supposed to meet somebody for lunch the week before that, and they had COVID. So a lot of people testing positive for COVID here, and so a lot of plans kind of getting messed up and moved around. Other than that, we're just looking forward to, I'm looking forward to this attic expansion being done. The builder hasn't been great at keeping in touch with us, which makes me a little bit nervous. So we think we're on track for it to happen in September, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Just not sure what's going on. And I will be very happy when we're done with this. It's a lot of money. It's going to be a lot of stress and time. And so the month of September could be particularly bad for me unless it gets pushed out even further. And this is happening in Duluth, so we'd really like to get it done before it starts snowing, because it does involve taking the roof off part of the house. So I really want to get through this, and I think I'll feel a lot better after we get through it. Additionally, there were some announcements for my work that they're doing massive restructuring, which is going to result in a number of layoffs. So we're not really sure what that means. So being what I went through last year, getting laid off and everything, I'm hoping that everything is okay. I think I'm extra sensitive and anxious about this kind of thing right now still. It'll probably take a while for me to get out of that feeling. I don't know. Generally, things are a little bit stressful here, just kind of a lot going on, but I am still getting books and stuff, and we're looking forward to my son's senior year of school starting, just a lot of life changes going on kind of all at once. So yeah, so that's how we're doing. I will, I guess, talk to you guys next week. I'll do stacking the shelves. I have only been doing videos like once or twice a month, sometimes every other month, and all of the stuff I just described is why. So lots going on. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed this and that you read a lot of great books in the last month. Feel free to comment down below if you read books that you really enjoyed. I always like to hear about that. And I will talk to you all next week with Stacking the Shelves. And then after that, it'll be something in September. So talk to you guys later. Bye.